Brace yourself. Things in college football and beyond can always spiral further downhill. Welcome to the Defector College Football Watch Guide, your go-to source where Israel Daramola and Ratto spotlight the weekend's must-watch college football matchups and explain why they matter. Ray kicks off by noting a slowdown in coach firings this week, hinting that either the wave of dismissals is dying down or we're hitting a point of diminishing returns. Think of it like Bill Belichick's legendary endurance. He's not out until he's truly, irreversibly gone. The season is entering what some call the dog days, when the pool of truly can't-miss games thins out from both ends, the championship contenders and the cellar dwellers. If you find yourself curious about something like UCLA Michigan State just to see if they can knock Penn State down a peg, it's a sign your focus is wavering. But here's something to look forward to. A nor'easter is aiming for the East Coast, which might turn some games into gritty, mud-splattered battles. And honestly, that's where the fun really kicks in. There's something about sloppy, tough conditions that reveal true grit, especially when young teams face adversity on the field without worrying about getting cleaned up afterward. A flood delay for Charlotte Army? Bring it on. Israel injects a sobering reminder. Things can always get worse. Especially if you're North Carolina fans. Brace yourselves. Not only is this bad now, the worst may still be unfolding. The big, screaming headlines about failure come early in the season because often deeper disaster lurks beneath the surface. From players not yet showing impact to coaches yet to make their off-field blunders. There's a potential avalanche of dysfunction yet to come, so cling tightly to whatever fragments hold together over there. Meanwhile, Clemson may have dodged immediate doom, but don't be fooled. Regression is coming without a doubt. And what about Arch Manning's much-buzzed wings? They're barely warmed up before they seem to be ineffectively melting away. Florida State losing again? Coach Mike Norvell is far from finding his stride. Mid-season struggles may be forthcoming. This melancholy isn't limited to just teams. The Big Ten's flirtation with a $2 billion private equity deal raises critical questions. Can corporate capital reshape college sports, or is it playing with fire? And in a shocking turn, the NCAA will now allow athletes to bet on professional games outside their sport, supposedly to preserve game integrity. Seriously, does this sound like a smart move or a slippery slope? This is uncharted territory, and the loss of control could unravel much more than anyone expects. Now, let's dive into the key games this weekend. USF at North Texas, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. This AAC matchup is a must-watch for the loser facing a season setback. North Texas quarterback Drew Mestemaker continues to distribute the ball broadly, with an impressive 17 different players catching passes in just 5 games. Their offense is almost as entertaining as Texas Tech's, no small compliment, making this 210-minute football event worth tuning into, even if it's just to kill time instead of watching something like UMass Kent State. Ohio State at Illinois, Saturday 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Illinois has been humbled after their loss to Indiana, and this game may push them even further down the ladder. Ohio State isn't just playing Illinois. They're fighting to hold on to national attention amidst a chaotic October landscape. With Miami off this weekend, keep them off your mind until next week. Expect Ohio State to try running up the score here, making this a showdown in more ways than one. Pitt at Florida State, Saturday 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. No illusions here. Florida State may extend their losing streak. Pitt isn't the strongest ACC team, but holds a better internal record than FSU. Florida State's offense struggles as quarterback Tommy Castellanos loses momentum. And even with a lively defense, they're vulnerable against competent offenses. Mike Norvell's questionable end-of-half decisions don't inspire confidence at all. Alabama at Missouri, Saturday 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ABC. Alabama is back in the win column, but still doesn't excite much confidence or joy. They face an undefeated Missouri squad, led by the surprising quarterback Bo Prabula, a name that hardly sounds intimidating but has earned respect. This game hinges on Alabama's ability to contain Missouri's Ahmad Hardy. The Tide's defense may bend but not break if Ty Simpson can avoid collapsing under pressure. Missouri has a stronger defensive front than Georgia, posing a real test for Alabama's quarterback. UMass at Kent State, Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN+. Wake Forest at Oregon State, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the CW. UMass is relentlessly plummeting as the worst team in Division I, based both on record and advanced metrics. They've been outscored by a staggering combined margin in their 5 losses. It's not about mocking them. They're doing their best, but the race for a winless season is becoming real. Oregon State and Sam Houston also struggle, but show flashes of competitiveness against Wake Forest's plucky squad. For the sake of dignity, we're rooting for both UMass and Oregon State to break their streaks. The horror of a winless season is too much to bear. Oklahoma at Texas, Saturday 3:30 p.m. ET on ABC. Will this be a classic Red River Shootout or a dull showdown? Texas is struggling, and John Mattia, returning from injury, faces off against Arch Manning. Texas's troubles and Oklahoma's stout defense position OU as favorites. Yet anything can happen here. The Red River rivalry is a space where logic and rankings get tossed out. Upsets tend to thrive, so keep your eyes peeled. Indiana at Oregon, Saturday 3:30 p.m. ET on CBS. By many accounts, this is the week's marquee match. Oregon, still buzzing after dethroning Penn State, faces Indiana, the latter's most challenging opponent since coach Curt Cignetti's revival efforts began. While Indiana's only losses are to Ohio State and Notre Dame, this test will show if they can win big games. Oregon is favored by 2 scores, but the outcome isn't guaranteed. Nebraska at Maryland, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on BTN, called the Big Ten Network Bowl. This rivalry features Dylan Raiola versus Malik Washington. Both teams have surprised, but inconsistencies persist. Maryland's fourth-quarter collapse against Washington was brutal, and Raiola may feel the pressure as he compares himself to NFL performers like Patrick Mahomes. Only one likely walks away with a shot at a New Year's Six bowl. Florida at Texas A&M, Saturday, 7 p.m. ET on ESPN. Florida fans have been bracing for the possible firing of Billy Napier. This matchup probably won't soothe those tensions. Texas A&M, ranked 5th nationally, has largely earned its standing through lockdown defense and quarterback Marcel Reed finding receivers behind struggling opposing corners. This game could dramatically affect coaching narratives. But who cares? It's football, and Mike Elko's defense is certainly worth profiling. Despite the trials of traveling to College Station, Kansas at Texas Tech, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. ET on Fox. Skip the Kansas frustration and tune in to Texas Tech's explosive offense instead. They rank 2nd nationally in points scored and 4th in points allowed. With Texas fading, invest your attention in quarterback Behren Morton rather than Arch Manning. Morton has been largely ignored, a hidden gem in a sea of overblown quarterback hype. Michigan at USC, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. ET on NBC. This game might serve as background noise during your multi-screen setup. Unlike the usual late-night starts, this one kicks off earlier. But if you despise late games, relocating west or even to island paradises like Hawaii or Vanuatu remains a tempting option, where football might just be a side note amid more carefree pastimes. South Carolina at LSU, Saturday, 7:45 p.m. ET on SEC Network. A showdown between 2 teams underperforming relative to expectations. South Carolina had high hopes post-breakout under coach Shane Beamer and QB Lenoris Sellers, but those hopes are fading fast. LSU resembles the Brian Kelly mold. Stout defense paired with a lackluster offense. Daring to say so aloud might make Kelly defensive, but one side might soon descend into full-scale crisis mode. Arizona State at Utah. Saturday, 10:15 p.m. ET on ESPN. Utah has quietly maintained steady performance, while Arizona State has held firm behind Sam Leavitt. Though underdogs, ASU remains undefeated in the Big 12, making this a challenge Utah must overcome. Look for Raleek Brown, not Cam Scatterbo, to provide the backbone for the Sun Devils offense. Utah State at Hawaii. Saturday, 11:59 p.m. ET on the internet. Welcome to Midnight Hawaii Madness. A late-night football ritual full of snacks and maybe a little regret in the morning. The key question? Will Kansei Matsuzawa maintain his flawless field goal kicking under the glow of the midnight moon? Stay awake, find out, and enjoy the unique charm of late-night college football. So, where do you stand? Do you think these turbulent times mark the beginning of fresh dynamics in college football, or a slow unraveling of tradition and control? Share your thoughts. This conversation is just getting started.